to a general election, or has that prospect receded?
Well, I think if we don't resolve matters by Tuesday, then there will be a motion of confidence in the Tanaiste, which is effectively a motion of confidence in the government. And if that motion is successful, if the opposition come together to remove the Tanaiste and breach the agreement, the common supply agreement, well, then we will be into an election at that point.
But as of now, your understanding is that motion of no confidence is going ahead next week?
Yeah.
Fianna Fáil wants a Dáil vote next week to express just that. But that would mean the end of the government.
It is not consistent with the common supply agreement that was put in place between the two parties. And so Fianna Fáil, in my view, are behaving recklessly here. Ireland does not need an election right now.
But is there a way of rebuilding this crumbling relationship between Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael?
This can be resolved if the Tanaiste steps aside. It's not just, there's quite a number of people in Dáil here now don't have confidence in the Tanaiste because of all of it.
Hope is that Minister Fitzgerald will do the right thing in the national interest and avoid a general election.
The Tanaiste now over the weekend has a hugely important personal decision to make. If the Taoiseach is not going to ask her to resign, it's a decision she will have to make herself, and it will have national consequences.
And as the Taoiseach and the Fianna Fáil leader met this evening, there was a plea for diplomacy from a government minister.
I don't normally beg, but I would beg them to come back from the precipice of what is a political row as opposed to a fundamental policy.
A snap general election is not in the interests of anybody. Politicians,
Leo McDonald will lead our campaign in the election if there is to be an election, but that is a decision for Leo Varadkar. What we have very clearly is a motion of no confidence in the Tanaiste. We want to see the Tanaiste go.
2 months later, Martin Callanan retired suddenly following a late-night visit to his home from a senior civil servant at the behest of Taoiseach Enda Kenny. Meanwhile, a dossier of the malpractice allegations was passed from Micheál Martin to Enda Kenny. These were examined by senior counsel Sean Gearan, who recommended a commission of investigation. But his report criticised the handling of Justice Minister Alan Shatter, who resigned. The Gearan report was quashed, and this too is being appealed. The O'Higgins Commission later found no fault with Alan Shatter's approach. In May 2016, the O'Higgins report upholds some of the McCabe allegations and praises him as a man of integrity. But Garda Commissioner Noreen O'Sullivan is engulfed in controversy when it's revealed that her lawyers attacked Sergeant McCabe's motivation and credibility at the private hearings. Controversy erupts again when it emerges that a false sexual abuse allegation made against Sergeant McCabe had laid with Tusla for over 3 years. And a former Garda press officer alleges he was directed to use the information to smear the sergeant. In response, the government sets up the Disclosures Tribunal, chaired by Supreme Court Judge Peter Charlton. And now Minister Frances Fitzgerald is under pressure, as it was revealed she had been told about the Garda legal strategy employed against Sergeant McCabe.
I acted on behalf of whistleblowers continuously, and so did this government and the last government.
Today, the Disclosures Tribunal confirmed it's prioritising its focus on whether the Garda Commissioner tried to discredit Sergeant McCabe at the O'Higgins hearing.